Thank you that we could come here, and would you open our hearts and our minds to what you have to teach us. In your name, amen.
Amen. That's a good name.
Who can explain a ripple effect? Like, what is a ripple effect? Sit.
Similar to the butterfly effect, where a butterfly flaps its wings and then around the world there's a hurricane. You get it. Like, just one
That's
thing.
not a ripple effect.
Yes, it is.
Ellen.
Yes, it is.
Give a mouse a cookie? Is that kind of what?
Emma, ripple effect.
So, like, if you drop a rock into a pond, it creates waves as it goes out and further, like, from bigger.
The effect is all the other. No. We're going with like dropping a stone, ripple, and the effect is going like that. Two things you can know about ripple effects or ripples is now, no matter how big or small the object is, the ripple always starts in the same place, and that's where the object meets the water. And there are many ripples being made, but the biggest impact is going to be in the point of contact. So, we're finishing up this series on influencers, and so far we talked about that we have to do something with our influence, and then last week we talked about we need to allow good influence, and we need to worry about who is influencing our lives. When we think about influencers, we often think about these people like on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube who have these huge social media followings. These are people that can reach a lot of people. So they're kind of like a big rock being thrown in to a pool of water, and then their ripples are a lot bigger than probably what ours would be. The people who influence our lives the most are the people who actually know us and who are close to us. So here's my question. If a stranger or I were to give you advice on how to deal with conflict, whose advice would you take?
Yours.
Why would you take mine?
Because I know you better.
Exactly. True influence goes hand in hand with being close to the people around us. The closer you are, the more influence you can have, and that can be good or bad. So we're gonna look at this as ripple. The inner circle, then there's, a couple on the outside. So the inner circle here, these are the people who are closest to us. These are the people who influence us the most, and whom we influence as well. Who do you see or talk to the most is going to go in that circle. And I don't want you to say specific names. I want you to talk about relationships. So this is going to be our most impactful circle here. What are some of the people relationships that would go in this? Yes? Okay. Who else? Most important, yes, sorry.
Could be your parents.
Yes, parents, okay. What else? Ziddy.
Your boo thing.
Okay, boyfriend or girlfriend?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay, your boo thing. Siblings,
And
Yeah.
Okay, if you're a parent, it's your kids.
kids. Okay. Really, you would put the teachers in there?
Oh, yeah, you can have good relationships with your
If you're close.
But that would maybe be the next one which we're going to talk about. And that's, who do you see in the next one is not as much. These are people you probably talk to everyday type of people. This would probably be the teachers in the next. So teachers is one like that. What up? People that you are still kind of close. Peers.
Cam.
I'm not in your middle.
Oh!
We don't talk every single day.
What did I say? What did you say?
I said peers.
Peers.
Your side.
So leaders. We'll go with leaders.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your friend's parents.
Okay.
No.
True.
Your aunts and uncles. Extended family.
Yes. Okay, send to Sam. Okay, that last one there, you're all on video right now. That last one there is, or outer ripples. Who do you think, more so on occasion, or from a distance, this ripple can be, you know, affecting part of your community? Yes.
My doctor.
Doctor.
It's like the
Okay.
therapist.
I'm gonna go with doctor and then slash therapist.
So like celebrities that kind of influence you?
Social media people, yes.
That's a good one.
Neighbors.
Does like TV and movie count as social media?
Yeah.
Or media, yeah.
Anyway, next door neighbors. What about some other family even? Or there's people you see in school. You know, some of your friends. In reality, friends would be here, here, and here. Because this would be more the acquaintance, so we're gonna go friends.
You can also put like
Spell out
strangers,
acquaintances.
because sometimes strangers influence you.
But you don't interact with them. Like, this would be people you interact with less than this.
Oh.
But there's still people you would interact with, yeah.
My coworkers.
Coworkers, yeah. We'll go with that. And that's gonna be the last one.
Wait, Kim, we forgot to put Jesus in the middle.
And blew it.
Never forget Jesus.
I know, put him in there. I feel so sad. We are all horrible people.
All right, so everyone in the Bible, turn to Matthew 5:14 through 16.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Matthew 5:14 through 16. Anyone have a page number?
1032.
1032?
Hey,
Verses 14 through 16. Who wants to read?
I'll read it.
Okay, thank you, KJ. Real loud.
You are the light of the world, like a city on a hilltop that cannot be hidden. No one lights a lamp and then puts it under a basket. Instead, a lamp is placed on a stand where it gives light to everyone in the house.
Have you ever, how many of you have either driven by yourself or with people down a dark, like, highway? Right? It's like pitch black down there. But then you get to an exit and there's some gas stations or some food places. How would that look at night when you hit that area?
Spooky.
Okay, spooky. What is?
Beautiful.
Huh?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. All right, there's light. I'm just gonna go with that. It would be bright, right? Because it's pitch black and then there's these neon signs like all big and whatnot. Light is really hard to miss in darkness. This passage is saying that light is meant as influence. So when we let that shine, we might let Jesus transform us into his image. We may speak kind and loving words to others, or we help others who are in need, or we share wisdom that we've gained. We all have the ability to be light that shines in darkness, because that's what influencers do. In Hebrews it says, let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works, and let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near. As followers of Jesus, we should want to share his message with others. We should want to make the world a better place. We should want to be an example of good and hope for others. We should want to use our influence of light to shine in the darkness. So if we want our influence in the world to be our light, we need to keep each other shining. If you want to be an influencer, and some of you may not want to be, but I've already told you, you are an influencer. You need to use the power of proximity. So those people that are closest to you, you need them and they need you. You have wisdom to share that will go out like a ripple. And it should start with that core group there. You can help those people shine brighter, and they can help you do the same. We have the best chance to be our best selves when we intentionally influence the people closest to us. In 1 Corinthians, it says this, "Don't be fooled by those who say such things, for bad company corrupts good character." So our inner people, that circle there, the ones that you have an actual name in that circle, they have the potential to encourage, to love, to challenge, make us better. They have a chance to make us wiser, kinder, or even be the best versions of ourselves. But here's the thing. They also have the chance to do the exact opposite in our lives. And that's what we talked about last week with advice from people that are wise. So just as we have the ability to be the light for others in their darkness, they can do the same for us. And more often than not, we tend to become like the people we are closest to. I get around one of my friends and all of a sudden we have the same laugh. I don't know, it just happens. A great influencer is not necessarily the person with the biggest or furthest that has shouted, like a social media person that has outreach to a lot. No, a great influencer is a person who has friends, family, and loved ones in that inner one. You're an influencer. The thing is what kind of influence are you going to do in this world? And here's what I want to tell you. To be a great influencer, live small and dream big. So, by dreaming big, remember that your influence can reach out, just like a ripple will. Live small, though, means focusing your time and your energy and your passions on influencing those in that closest circle. So in about early 1900s, there was this inventor, and I'm gonna see if you'll guess what it was that he invented, but this guy took his dog out for a walk, and on the way home, or when he got home, he realized the dog had like burrs all over it. Like, how many of you ever had a burr on you or seen it, right? It's really annoying. This guy took the burr and started to really inspect it, and he saw that there are these seed pods that were covered in many little hooks that would just clasp to a soft object. So what did he then create? Velcro. Velcro came from a stupid little burr. Velcro is used all over the world. It's used in space for astronauts. It's used for shoes when you don't know how to tie them. Velcro is a huge thing, but it came from this very small idea. Every invention comes from a small idea, or it starts small. But what does that mean for us? How can we live small but have a big influence? Here's what you have to do. You have to start to notice the little things in your life. So for the next few minutes, that's what we're gonna do. Here you have a sheet of paper, and there's gonna be some questions up here. I want you to focus on this last week you've had. So from last Tuesday to this Tuesday. A lot of things happen in your life that have the potential to impact in a big way. So in the reflection time, this is what you're gonna kind of answer. Do you have the questions? Do you have the questions?
Yes. Sorry. Like you asking me a question.
So what has happened this week that has encouraged you? What opportunities did you have this week to encourage someone else? Or who showed you love and support this week? And who did you encounter this week that you can show love for in the next week?
Get locked up.
Sad. It's always sad. To make a big impact, you must be willing to live small. That means living as though your smallest actions at home, school, with friends, whatever, those matter the most. You may have opportunity in life to impact millions with something you say or do. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and whenever you say Martin Luther King, most people know that name, right? He started off as a normal boy. In one moment, your ripple can reach an entire nation. Think about it, it's happened for many leaders, teachers, activists, influencers throughout all of history. It can happen for you too. The world is a big place, and you have a chance to make a big impact in it. Sometimes we get so caught up in the fact that we want to reach out so far with our things that we don't focus on that inner circle. We don't focus on influencing that group or being influenced by that group in our lives. But here's the thing, if you treat every person, every opportunity, potential chance to influence someone, when it really matters, that's when you're going to become the influencers you were created to be. You can be the next Martin Luther King Jr. You could be the next, right? When we're little, our parents always say you can be anything you want, right? It's true. But oftentimes we're too focused on that big outreach, that we're not focused on the small things that we can start. So as you go from here, I want you to be thinking that if Velcro can come from a little annoying burr, what could you do with something that small? We're going to split into our small groups now and talk through that. So,
Can I say something?
yeah.
If anyone didn't see Pastor Mo's sermon this past Sunday, you missed out, and please go back and watch it. It was the most amazing, educational, motivating, wonderful. I can't say enough. My whole family just loved it. She talked about Martin Luther King, talked about Lincoln, she talked about making a difference, loving the enemy. It was powerful. So I just encourage you all to take 20 minutes and go back and watch it. You will not regret it.
All right, we're going to try to go to our same small groups. So try to split into those right now, and then I'm going to rearrange.